Hello, my name is Joey Aken, and I have dealt with and overcome chronic depression. Okay, how I knew I had a mental illness and needed help. I was, that point when like there's this state of being that just has unhappiness in it, where you're overcome by unhappiness just solely. Your thoughts are sad, everything around you is sad. It's like you're standing on land but you're drowning. Nothing makes sense. You distrust everybody. You always look for the bad in everything, and you might be in a room full of people and you are alone. And so at that point you begin to have, due to that extreme unhappiness, a part of you becomes bitter, and what you then do is try to escape it. And escaping it means trying to leave Earth, take your life. It doesn't have to be caused by anything. You just are unhappy. It's a state of being. The same way someone is happy, someone's unhappy to the point where it's overwhelming. When was this? I discovered that this was a problem in 2013. Then, we could talk. Then, I was in school and school was stressed. I was in school in 2012, on the years before, and I had it. But then school was stressful, and a lot of the time you just chalk it down to, it's because I'm in school and I'm stressed. And students are for the most part broke, and you're like, maybe because I have less money. But then at the end of 2012, I moved to Lagos from Port Harcourt. I became a young urban professional, and I began to make money. I began to live my dreams, began to chase the things I've always wanted to chase. All my childhood dreams were coming into place. I was successful. I am successful in the field that I chose, but it was still lingering. It was still there. That same state of unhappiness, that same overwhelming bitterness and overpowering bitterness and unhappiness, it was still there. I tell anybody, then I didn't know the word for it. It was more like I am unhappy, and whenever it got too much, when it got too intense, I shared it with a couple of friends who pretty much could not understand it. I don't blame them, because they have no training, they didn't have the range to properly process and understand that this is what it is. So half the time you're like, is it money? Is it are you having relationship problems and everything? Is there something? Who died? And I'm like, nobody died. And they're like, but that was what they could do. But half the time they wanted to show support, they meant well, but they couldn't help. Stigmatized. Yes, I remember one time I shared it with someone. That this is how I always am. And then, what the person did was the person listened, and then after listening and everything, the person literally spread it around. I have it's funny now. Everybody shared it around that I had a demon living in me. Like I needed exorcism. That there's a demon somewhere and I had to be delivered. So it was at the time it wasn't funny, because I was like, when I heard the news, when I heard the story, and I'm like, have I ever initiated into something? How have I manifested now? I just shared something personal, and then all of a sudden you took it to the devil. He's innocent of this, at least for once. How did I feel? The basic feeling at that point was it was hurt, because there was a sense of betrayal. I had shared something very personal. I had had opened up to someone, and then the person had ridiculed it, and person had ridiculed it and shared it with other people in a very malicious way. And so those people, they kept giving me the side eye. Their relationship towards you would change a bit, and at that point you would always know that it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good, and it made me not want to talk again. Yeah, it made me not want to share, not want to talk. My trust issues, they shut up. And so yeah, that was it. It's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I'm proud of, and I don't share this lightly. But that day, it was April last year. Yeah, I had a show to do at work. So I was checking out venues. We are in production terms, we are wrecking the venues. So went down to Kroger Studios, had a recce, and then when I came back to the office on the island in Lekki, I simply just it got so bad all through the day. That was like the height of it. And I was like, I want to end this. So what I did was I sent in a resignation then, and then I sent in a resignation, and it wasn't the first day I wanted to do it. I've always had it at the back of my mind, but that day was like, I found the unhappiness mixed with the bitterness, and then just created a very potent cocktail that emboldened me. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I sent in my resignation from my job, programmed a couple of letters, to be sent, emails mostly, and conversations. And then, and I said, yeah, let's exit. So I went to the waterfront, and then I threw myself in. I was like, whoa. And then when I dived in, it was a struggle, of course, because nobody ever drowns willingly. You might have the thought, but yeah, the actual work, the actual process isn't funny. But yeah, I got rescued, thankfully, by someone, and by a guy who saw it happen. Because I didn't take off my clothes like I was swimming or anything. I just jumped in, and then this guy knew that something was off. So he came in, helped me, and then it was the height of it. It was when there's people say you hit rock bottom, but rock bottom is just that wasn't where I wasn't rock bottom. It was more like the bottom after the bottom. It was like crust bottom. So I was there, and a lot of people had conversations with me while I was all drenched, and had conversations with me and all of that. One of the things I felt when I failed was shame. I know it sucks. I know your struggle. I know your pain. I know your bitterness. I know your processes. I know how much the world has no color for you. But all of that can change. All of that it doesn't have to be that way. It can be better. I've been on that end, and I've been on this end, and trust me, this end, it's pretty cool. So hang in there. You can change this. You can fix this, and then you should all seek help. That's what it is. Seek help. Whatever works for you, find it. There are a lot of mental health professionals. They aren't mainstream, but they exist. You can find them and then begin the process to changing your mind or healing yourself.